Hello, good morning, and welcome to all of you. I am Rajesh Kumar Singhal, and I am here to present a new lecture on the calcium. So, friend, this is very important topic for the ARS mains exams. And earlier we discussed about the basics of the mineral nutrition, where we discuss about the macro and the micronutrients, the concept of macro and the micronutrients, and this calcium is classified under the macronutrients. Also, we had discussed about the transport of the mineral nutrients, where we discuss about the short and the long distance pathway of the mineral nutrients. Also, we discussed about the physiology of nitrogen, phosphorus, the potassium. So these three are the very important nutrient for the plant growth and development. Also very equally important for the ARS main section. And calcium is also a very important nutrient for the plant growth and development. That's why this is known as secondary messenger of the plant. And also uh, it is also very important for the ARS. So in the ARS mains exams, question can be asked that what is the calcium, write about the transport system and the binding form of the calcium and its role in the plant growth, and or they can ask that how this calcium work as a secondary messenger in the. So this topic is very important for the. So in this topic, today's lecture, we will discuss about the some basic facts of the calcium. Then we will discuss about the binding form and compartmentation of the calcium. Then we will discuss about the some transporters of the. Then we will discuss that how this calcium work as a messenger or mechanism of this secondary. Then at the last, we will discuss about the some functions of the calcium and also deficiency and toxic symptoms. Yeah. So let's start today's lecture with the calcium. So as we know that this calcium is a divalent cation. So it is present in the calcium plus 2 form. Okay. Second point is the calcium present in the both bound and free form. Means it present in the free form like calcium ions. It also can be bound like calcium lactate. Okay, so it can be bound to the macro. Okay. Third point is the high amount of calcium ion are sequestered in the. Okay. Fourth point is the this calcium shows the low mobility in the symplasm and the. Okay, तो ये आपका लो मोबिलिटी है. Okay, and this calcium is function as both structural and the regulatory component of the. Okay, तो this calcium work as a both means एक तो ये आपको स्ट्रक्चरल सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करेगा, दूसरा इट रेगुलेट द some crucial plant processes. Yeah. Okay, next point is the binding with the calcium is stable, but it is reversible with the some molecular. Okay. Next point is the in some plants or it can be found in the high amount. Okay. Like up to 10% of dry weight. Mostly it is present in the mature dry leaves. Okay. जब आपका प्लांट मैच्योर हो जाएगा तब कैल्शियम की अमाउंट बढ़ जाएगी. ओके. एंड लास्ट पॉइंट इज द it worked as a secondary messenger because it links the environmental and developmental stimuli to the physiological response. Means it linked the environment, developmental process and the physiological response to the. Okay, That's why it is known as secondary. Okay, so these are the important points. ओके, मीन्स अगर आपका एआरएस में क्वेश्चन आता है कैल्शियम पे तो ये हम पॉइंट्स को टारगेट कर सकते हैं. ओके, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स अबाउट द बाइंडिंग फॉर्म ऑफ द कैल्शियम द कंपार्ट. ओके, तो इसमें क्या क्या आएगा. फर्स्ट, द कैल्शियम हाई प्रोपोर्शन इन द सेल. So you know that this is the major part of the parts. The middle lamella, it bound to the carboxylic group of the polylactogenic acid or pectin. Okay, मैंने बोला था लास्ट लाइन में it form in the calcium pectin. Okay, so this is the binding form. Okay, next it is precipitated as a calcium oxalate and the calcium. So in some plants it is found in excess amount where it is precipitated as calcium oxalate or the calcium carbonate which form the calcium. Okay. In endoplasmic reticulum it is found in the calcium binding. Okay, but in cytosol it is found in the low amount or low concentration is near to 0.121 B. Okay, next in the plastid it is found in the 6.5 to the 15 millimolar and mostly in the bound form. So these are the binding form of the. Okay, कहाँ कहाँ मिल रहा है आपका. एक तो हाई प्रोपोर्शन इन द सेल वॉल, सेकंड मिडिल लेमिला द फॉर्म ऑफ कैल्शियम पैक्टेट, excess calcium bound to the calcium oxalate or the calcium carbonate. Endoplasmic reticulum it is found in the form of calcium binding. Cytosols it is found in very low concentration, but it plastid is found mostly bound. Okay, next point, when this calcium found in excess amount or excess calcium accumulation, it is mostly classified as a. These are the physiotypes of the calcium excess calcium nutrition. So plants are classified in the three form. These are the physiotypes of the calcium nutrition. First is the potassium plant. Okay, that is Carex pendula. So this can be asked in your pre-exam. What is the example of potassium plant? That is Carex pendula. So high calcium and high potassium and calcium ratio is. Okay. Second is the oxalate plant. So there are two types, oxalic acetosa and silene inflata. So in silene inflata it is found in the form of calcium oxalate. In oxalate it is found in the oxalate. Okay. Next is the calcitrops. So example is the Cedium album, and here the excess water soluble calcium found in the. Okay. So these are the physiotypes of excess calcium. Okay, excess calcium. तीन टाइप के प्लांट कौन कौन से. पोटेशियम प्लांट्स, एग्जांपल इज द कैरेक्स पेंडुला वेयर हाई पोटेशियम एंड कैल्शियम रेशियो इज. सेकंड इज द ऑक्सिलेट प्लांट्स that is oxalis acetosa. Third is the silene inflata where it is found in the calcium oxalate. Third is the calcitrops. The example is the Cedium album where this calcium found in the water soluble form in the. Okay, so these three are the physiotypes of the. Okay, now this in the cytosol the calcium found in the very low concentration, and this low calcium regulates the prevention of the inorganic phosphate precipitation. Okay, first function. Second, it competes with the magnesium ion for the binding sites. Okay, second, third is the it work as a secondary. Okay, तो ये आपके 3 पॉइंट्स हो गए कि आपका व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ दिस लो कैल्शियम. ओके, तो दिस इज अबाउट द बाइंडिंग फॉर्म एंड कंपार्टमेंट. कंपार्टमेंटेशन का मतलब आपका सेल वॉल में प्रेजेंट होगा, फिर लेमिला में प्रेजेंट होगा, इसके अलावा एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम में इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट, साइटोसोल में प्रेजेंट है और प्लास्टिड में प्रेजेंट। बाइंडिंग फ्रॉम, it is found in the form of calcium pactate in the middle lamella. It is also precipitated. It is also found in the calcium binding proteins, and it is also found in the cytosol. And okay, so this is about the binding form and compart. Okay, next point about the transport. Okay, calcium transporters. So there are mainly calcium channels on the plasma. Okay, so there are four types of calcium channels are present on the plasma membrane. Okay, कौन कौन से हैं? फर्स्ट है DACCS, that is known as depolarization activated calcium channel. Okay, second है HACC, that is known as hyperpolarization activated. Okay, third है voltage insensitive calcium, that is known as BIC, and fourth is the mechanosensitive calcium. Okay, so there are four types of calcium channels are present on the plasma. Okay, अब जैसे कि वर्ड से ही पता चल रहा है, डीपोलराइजेशन एक्टिविटी मीन्स डीपोलराइजेशन प्रोसेस से ये आपके कैल्शियम चैनल्स एक्टिवेट एंड रेगुलेटेड बाय द जीन दैट इज एडॉप्सिस एलियाना टीपीसी. Okay, so this depolarization activated calcium channels are important the ATTPC. Okay, and second HACC, that is hyperpolarization calcium channel, that is formed by the plant annexin. Okay, third one is the VICC, which is encoded by the cyclic nucleotide gated channels, that is CNGC, and the glutamate receptor. Okay, and fourth one is the mechanosensitive cancer channel encoded by the member of MCL. So this is also important for the pre-exam. pre-exam में आपका क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं कि कौन सा इसमें से कैल्शियम चैनल नहीं है, या जो हाइपर पोलराइजेशन है विच इज फॉर्म्ड बाय द नेक्सिन, और कोई सा प्रोटीन दे सकते हैं, एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हैं, तो ये आपको याद होने चाहिए. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, देन कैल्शियम कैन बी रिलीज फ्रॉम द वैक्यूल. अब वैक्यूल से कैसे आपका रिलीज हो सकता है, तो वही हो जाएगा हाइपर पोलराइजेशन एक्टिवेटेड चैनल्स, depolarization activated channels, that is ubiquitous, and slow vacuolar channels, and third is the channel gated by the ligands, that is inositol 1,4,5 triphosphate, that is known as IP3. Okay, and the cyclic ADP ribo, that is known as CAD. तो आपके थ्री टाइप के यहाँ पर. ओके, that is regulate the release from the vacuole. Okay, next है efflux from the cytosol to the एपोप्लास्ट एंड. तो आपके साइटोसोल से एपोप्लास्ट एंड एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम पे आपका कौन सा रेगुलेट करता है, कैल्शियम एटीपी. ओके, एंड टोनोप्लास्ट में आपका कौन सा होता है, कैल्शियम एटीपीएज एंड द कैल्शियम प्रोटोन एंटीपो. ओके, एंड इफ्लक्स फ्रॉम द साइटोसोल टू द वैक्यूल्स. ओके, देन कैल्शियम एटीपीएज फॉर द अपटेक फॉर द क्लोथ. कैल्शियम अपटेक प्लस 2 एटीपीएज क्या करता है, क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर कैल्शियम. ओके, तो दीज आर द ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम ऑफ द कैल्शियम द प्लांट सेल. क्लियर हो गया आपका प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन पे कौन कौन से चैनल्स होते हैं, डिपोलराइजेशन एक्टिवेटेड होता है, हाइपरपोलराइजेशन एक्टिवेटेड होता है, वोल्टेज इनसेंसिटिव होते हैं, एंड मैकेनो. इसके अलावा आपके वैक्यूल से रिलीज होने के लिए हाइपरपोलराइजेशन एक्टिवेटेड होते हैं, डीपोलराइजेशन एक्टिवेटेड होते हैं, और लिगेंड्स बाइंड से गेटेड होते हैं. देन इफ्लक्स के लिए आपका कैल्शियम एटीपीएज होता है, कैल्शियम 2+ एंटीपोटर होता है. तो ये आपके ट्रांसपोर्टर, तो ये आपको याद होने चाहिए. ठीक है, अगर क्वेश्चन यही 5 नंबर का पूछ ले कि राइट अबाउट द कैल्शियम ट्रांसपोर्टर सिस्टम इन द प्लांट्स, तो आपको ये सब चीज. ठीक है, नाउ टॉक अबाउट द और डिस्कस अबाउट द कैल्शियम. तो कैल्शियम कैसे सेकेंडरी मैसेंजर का, तो यू नो दैट इन द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन दे आर द रिसेप्टर प्रोटीन, ओके, इसके लिए कैल्शियम, ओके। प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन पे आपका क्या होता है, रिसेप्टर प्रोटीन इज प्रेजेंट ऑन द प्लाज्मा, ठीक है। वो उसको मूव कराता है आपका साइटोसोल्स में। साइटोसोल्स में क्या होते हैं आपके कैल्शियम बाइंडिंग, ठीक है। अब कैल्शियम बाइंडिंग प्रोटीन कौन कौन से होते हैं, रिमेंबर करना है, याद करना है हमें। कैल्मोड्यूलिन्स, ईएमएस, कैल्मोड्यूलिन लाइक प्रोटीन्स, calcinurins like protein that is known as CVL, then calcium dependent protein kinases and other calcium binding proteins such as, okay? तो ये आपके क्या होते हैं कैल्शियम बाइंडिंग प्रोटीन साइटोसोल में। तो ये क्या करते हैं आपके, टारगेट दे टारगेट द कैल्मोडुलिन बाइंडिंग ट्रांसक्रिप्शन एक्टिवेटर्स लाइक AMTA and the kinases that is CIPK protein kinase. So these calcium binding protein targets the AMTA and protein kinases which alter their structure and the enzymatic properties, which also can change the solute transport or the ion homeostasis or redox balance. They also regulate the metabolism, cell morphology, and the gene expression, and they regulate the developmental, developmental, physiological, and other environmental responses. तो लाइक दिस कैल्शियम वर्क एज ए सेकेंडरी, मीन्स आपका प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन पर रिसेप्टर्स होगा, वो आपके कैल्शियम्स को लेगा, साइटोसोल्स में मूव करेगा, साइटोसोल्स में आपके कैल्शियम बाइंडिंग प्रोटीन्स होंगे डिफरेंट टाइप्स के, वो आपके काइनेजेस को करेंगे, वो आपके सिग्नलिंग को आगे करके आपका जो एंजाइम है या जीन्स है या मॉर्फोलॉजी है उसको, जीन एक्सप्रेशन उसको चेंज, तो इट्स पर्सनलाइज्ड सेकेंडरी। Now we will discuss about the important function, deficiency and the toxicity of the calcium. So calcium work as a already discussed that it work as a cell wall stabilization because it's found in the calcium peptide which provide the strength to the cells, and this also correlated with the cation exchange. In calcium deficient plant there will be an increase in the polychronic activity, and typical symptom of calcium द डिसइंटीग्रेशन ऑफ द सेल वॉल, मीन्स अगर आपका डिफिशियंसी है तो क्या हो जाएगा, देयर विल बी रिडक्शन इन द सेल वॉल स्टेबलाइजेशन which cause the disintegration of the cell wall and the collapse of the affected tissue such as petioles and upper part of stem and the fruit, okay। तो आपका ये क्या कर देगा, अफेक्टेड टिश्यू का कोलैप्स कर देगा बिकॉज देयर विल बी ए नो सेल वॉल, and the increased calcium concentration increase the firmness of the fruit and also delay the fruit. Calcium deficiency also seizes the root extension due to the impaired cell. Means calcium promote the cell elongation, but when it is deficient, it the cell root extension. Okay. Calcium also stimulate the alpha activity. Also, it improve the membrane stabilization and integrity, already discussed. Cytosolic calcium ion initiate the membrane repair signaling during the okay? So this cytosolic or free calcium initiate the membrane repair signaling during the means is the stabilization. It also regulate the ion. No? This is also has important role during the osmo, and it increase the resistance to the fungal and bacterial infection, the formation of. It also not only elongated the root but also elongated the pollen. It also have important signaling role during the somatal movement and nystinastic and sysponastic movement. They have important role in the potassium, but calcium has important role in the signaling of these movements. Okay, and calcium deficiency related disorders are like if one in the Matthews, black heart in the ciliary, blossom and root, the tomato or watermelon, and the bitter pit in the apple. So this is very important for the re-exams. Like they can ask any question. Like also there are some diseases like soft notch in mango. Okay, then spongy tissue because there is a disintegration of the cell wall. Then poor filling of the pores. Then black heart and the packing, black heart and packing. Then chlorosis of younger leaves, chlorosis of the younger leaves because it is less mobile. Then premature, mature flower abscess. Okay, only blossom and root in tomato and watermelon. Then cavity spot in the carrot, cavity spot the carrot. Then tip hooking, tip cauliflower. Okay. Then not only in cauliflower but tobacco, tobacco and beetroot. Okay. Then bitter kitten. So these are the some deficiencies का क्या कौन कौन से हैं आपके हो गए टिप वन इन लेट्यूस ब्लैक हार्ट इन celery blossom and rot in tomato and watermelons bitter pit in apples chlorosis of younger leaves cavity spots carrot black heart spongy tissue poor feeding of filling of pores soft nose in mango tip hooking in cauliflower tobacco and beetroot mature flower abscessing okay so these are the important the so I hope you understand the mechanism of or basics of the calcium physiology that how this calcium transported in the plasma membrane, the vacuoles, and the how it is found in the winding forms, and what are the important role mostly in the secondary messenger. So thank you very much for today's lecture. Thank you.